Okay, 17th of February, Rudy here. Welcome to the Daily Investment Show. We go through ASX US indices, subsectors and commodity prices, looking for places to invest our money. So we start with ASX 300. So we're still capped by the Iron Dome here. So the first of our big sectors, the financials. So we've escaped the dome, but we're still at resistance. So that's going to be led by this guy, CBA, who's sitting at resistance now. And then the other big sector is the materials. There's no Iron Dome on the materials, just a clear uptrend. BHP reported today, profits up 28%. So if we look at BHP, that looks like a pretty attractive chart. We'll buy them back here in the channel. September, that's when you're loading up. Still not too late. Interesting little ratio here. If we do the Battle of the Kings, excluding Woodside. Woodside's a different king. So what we're looking at here is the ratio of BHP over CBA. So this is CBA outperforming BHP, and then the cycle turns. Then we go down here and the cycle turns, BHP outperforms. So we've now started the next journey. So the cycle says a touch of this resistance line up here. So BHP to outperform CBA. That's the call. Okay, our materials. So our materials sector over the ASX 300. So still got the bias is so materials is going to lead the ASX 300. The energy sector it's at resistance. I think the chance of that is going up. Time to get set in energy stocks. I've got a new girlfriend ETF over in America. Join the channel to find out who she is. Our technology sector, we're trying to find a bottom here. The consumer discretionary. So that's on support. So I guess it's being led by JBH, who had a good report. So they're technically a buy now. Nice div. Healthcare sector. So healthcare, CSL, no bottom yet. Okay, over to America. Oh yeah, here's a new one for you. So this is from Cebu Trade on X. So this is the S&P 500 and the total put call ratio. So what that means is everybody's short at the moment, same as back here. It was back in April 25, and you can see when there's a high level of shorts, it tends to indicate a bottom, because that's how the big boys make money. So interesting, just a little stat, doesn't mean it's going to happen, but so America was closed obviously last night, so no direction. So no use going. So Nasdaq, the mags. So it's interesting. The Magnificent Seven is looking quite weak. You can see their Iron Dome. And we look at the SPX over the Nasdaq. So it's not tech doing the lifting here. Like, I won't go through all their subsectors because they haven't done anything. Your super fund. So your super fund, is that a bit of an Iron Dome? No, not yet. So a little pet project I have on the channel is getting people out of their high growth option into do it yourself. So materials, so the XMJ over VDHG, which is basically your growth option. Having that bias, you'd be super fun would be up. VGS, which does have the dome and is a sell. If you got out of material, if you had a materials focus, you'd be kicking ass on your VGS. It's not too late for the switch. Okay, the US dollar. So there's I'm going to show you some things that are quite interesting as to why this probably should go down. But anyway, it's eking out a bottom here. It's that's a bullish candle there, right on support. So the bias and a nice declining channel break. So the bias is to the upside. However, if you look at US 1 year rates, so they're in a downtrend. So usually high interest rates support the currency. That was the bit I was saying before. But America's in a bit of a sort of a pickle. So their unemployment's crap. They keep putting out revised numbers that make it worse. So they've got unemployment rising, but their GDP's growing. But it's growing due to the AI build. And that's the problem with their tech sector, is they're spending all their money on build, and we don't know how it's going to turn into revenue. That's that comment there. And if we look at the 10-year, US 10-year rates, like long term, that's a bullish. Like long term, it's a bullish chart pattern, as in interest rates go up. So technically, it hasn't gone bearish yet. So yeah, just some things to sort of watch there. So our Aussie dollar. So we've sort of hit this resistance level here. That is a topping formation. So obviously strength in the USD would imply downward movement. Okay, gold. When you're ready. Oh, yeah, another interesting stat for you. So this is from Bloomberg. So what we've got here is the US dollar's role in global reserves is withering away. So what we're looking at here. So this black line is the US dollar. So going back since 2006. So it's becoming less of a share. This grey one here is gold. So gold is taking over from the US dollar. Then here we got the pound, then we got the yen, and we got the euro. So the world moving on to real money. Anyway, so the gold price, it's just going to consolidate for a while. It'd be really nice to have because you can see it's got bought up there, bought up there. So it's going to break to the upside. I don't know the timing though. So same with Aussie dollar gold. Bitcoin. So Bitcoin's trying to eke out a bit of a bottom, a bit like the US dollar. Silver. So China's closed at the moment. So, but that looks really nice. Yeah, it's going to break, but it's just going to like this for a while. So time to be accumulating $10 a month. Join the channel. Tell you what US ASX shares, ETFs to get it. Palladium. So Palladium's just having a consolidation. So copper's having a bit of a pullback, but the trend is still up. That was pretty big resistance up there, but the overall trend is still up. Oil, so I'm waiting on this one. Again, I think energy stocks. I can't see this breaking down, unlike iron ore. So iron ore's, so that's weak. So that's and say coming down to test support. It's no, our miners still make a ton of money at these prices, but obviously it's better for them if the price is going up. Lithium. So lithium's having a pullback. Uranium. So uranium's finding a bit of a floor again. Coal, thermal coal, that looks really bullish. Coking coal, that looks really bullish. Who said coal's dead? Aluminium, so just having a consolidation. Tin, so you can see there's a few common themes here. And a new one, soybeans. You can actually buy this as an ETF in America. So it looks like soybeans are going to be breaking out. Alright, that's your daily wrap. I hope you enjoyed it. $10 a month, join the channel. So yeah.